Can't happen. Are you old enough to remember the Black Panthers or any remnants of the Black Panthers when you were growing up? Talk to us about what you remember about that, and then kind of the transition of where we are now.
I wanted to be a Black Panther when I was a kid, man. Black Panthers got popular. I was about 13. Okay, I was in Catholic school. No, I was about 12. I was in Catholic school, and they had a little group of Black Panthers, wannabe Black Panthers in my neighborhood, and they would march through. They would practice marching up and down my street, and I thought that was the coolest shit in the world. My mama wasn't going for it. They had on their leather jackets, their berets, their whole 9 yards, and they had little spots around the city, little sub offices around the city, whatever the case may be. And I thought it was the coolest shit in the world as a kid, because when you talk to people who was into it, it's like anything else. You realize it wasn't what the media made it out to be. They made it out to be a terrorist group. They was basically some good folks just trying to look out for the neighborhood in the beginning. But at some point in time, anytime we start looking out for ourselves, we become a threat to other people. I never understood that. If we look out for ourselves, Black Lives Matter, whatever. That's no. Colin Kaepernick, he just stood up for police brutality, but they flipped the script on him, made it something else completely different than what it was. So the same thing happened to the Black Panthers. And it wasn't until they got into it with the police on 54th or whatever, 54th Street and 54th. And then I realized that was something I didn't want to do. Okay. I just realized
What did you see that made you not want to, like, what was it? Do you remember that you saw, or was it just the whole feeling of?
They fought the police. First of all, I thought that was at 13 years old, I thought that was some crazy shit, because I still was a good kid. They fought the police. I don't know. I'm not following the whole story. I'm a kid. But as I got older and started seeing.
Thank you, Marlon. Shout out Marlon.
Much love, Marlon. Thank you, Doc. As I got older, I started realizing what was going on, and I realized, damn, that was some gangster ass shit right there. Because they didn't care. They knew they knew their rights, and I was impressed with them probably the most when they went up to
Sacramento
with Ronald Reagan with them rifles and shit, and they made them folks change the gun laws that day. Okay, yeah. They changed the gun laws that day. I thought that was some cold shit. I didn't think it was fair, but they rolled up there on Ronald Reagan, and I think he was having a little garden situation with some 8th graders, and here come these brothers with these shotguns and rifles and shit. And because up until then, California wasn't an open carry, but you can have a rifle in your car as long as it was in plain sight. And they said, "Oh no, these niggas is crazy. Niggas got shot. They got guns too. Oh hell no." And that's why people always said if black folks got more guns, the gun laws would change overall. And that right there proved it that proved it to me before it even said. So yeah, Doc, it was deep, man, and it was a different era, man. It wasn't, people had their issues, but they handled their issues within themselves. You follow what I'm saying? You didn't need a whole group of people to deal with somebody's personal problems. And for the FBI to make them as hated as they were, it was just weird, dude. It just, J. Edgar Hoover wasn't taking anybody that has something to do with the advancement of black folks. J. Edgar Hoover wasn't having it. He wasn't having it, whether it's Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Black Panthers, us, whoever it was. He wasn't having it, and he had to infiltrate them and make sure they were destructive. And when you think about some of the things that they did back in the 70s and see what's going on here in the new millennium, that's just still in effect. We're the only people that focus on killing each other.
Goddamn shit. They had to make me sad.
They had to actually go into the FBI, into the Black Panthers, and they put them against each other. They pitted Huey Newton against H. Rap Brown and other folks. I mean, they planted stuff. They sent letters, and it's a known fact they did this. Okay, they incited a situation. Okay, now, dude, I can't keep on talking like this on fucking YouTube.
I have to, man. You know what? We got a lot of new viewers who need to hear this stuff, man.
I see them.
We're up to 137. Shout out to that. We haven't had 140 in a minute. Please hit that like button. Really appreciate all the new all the new people viewing. If you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button.
But yeah, dude, it was a concentrated effort at that time to do what they did to destroy those groups. And here we are in 2022, and we can't. The country is divided between the East Coast and West Coast because two dudes couldn't get along, or one guy had some jury that somebody else wanted. You telling me folks got to check in just coming to another. Oh, only black folks though. Only black folks. Ain't no white boys got to check in. Eminem ain't got to check in nowhere.
Thank you. Man.
Eminem ain't checking in nowhere. Try it if you want to. Try it if you want to.
Tekashi 6ix9ine still walking around like a fucking.
She's walking around like nobody's business. Okay.
If Tekashi 6ix9ine was black, he would be dead right now. I'm gonna say it.
Yep. So, dude, I mean, it's real hard for me to really respect that shit, man. I'm not encouraging nobody to do a goddamn thing, but you know, if don't just do it, don't do it. Period. That's what I'm gonna say. Don't do it. Period. Okay. Let everybody slide. Give everybody a pass. Okay. But don't be so hard on your own people. They can't get a pass on shit. Come on, man. That's bullshit.
Yeah. You were born in what year, Alonzo?
57, dude.
57. Okay. It's 1957. Someone asked, were you around when Jim Crow laws were still in effect? That was probably almost over at the tail end, right? You probably don't have any remembers.
I was too young to remember actually Jim Crow, but I remember
Did your pops used to talk to you about him or anything like that?
My dad and mom were from down south. Okay. They had a different kind of attitude towards white people. Okay. I mean, they just, my old man, he wasn't no chump by no means. He understood that he couldn't do or say certain shit. We were cutting lines in Torrance and Palos Verdes. He knew to get out of there before it got dark. Because he had me with him most of the time. And sometimes he had to stop. We stopped when it get halfway dusk and get our ass back across Pacific Coast Highway, on the 10 freeway before it got too dark. Now we work in Gardena till the damn near, when it got dark early, we'd work that, till the 6, 7 o'clock if we had to. But in Torrance and Gardena, shit. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Finishes up, and the people we work for understood to get your ass out of here, Mr. Williams. We like you and keep it pushing.